The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions, we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now. Comrades, Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to those in television land. Happy Friday to our silent supporters. Happy Friday to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone had a wonderful and productive week and looking forward to a restful weekend. Remember, guys, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Tonight's topic is Blood and Fire Comrades, and we have a special guest in studio, Christopher Henry, who is the MP candidate for Central St. Andrew, and Byron will introduce him shortly, as well as we have Pink Q Green in studio, Melting Pot, and Mystic Sensation, which comprises Byron and Anne-Marie. So let me just welcome those in the chat quickly. Beverly Patel Cruikshank, Truck Life, Bless Up Yourself, Falmouth Girl 2, Cecile Phillips, Doris McCoy, Marva Dice, Monica Hall, Barbara Brandt, Muriel King, Patsy Gavin, A. Johnson, Mark Jack, welcome. And a special shout out to our channel members, and also a special shout out to our moderators. Beres White, bless up. Noreen McLean, Sweeney, bless up. Welcome. Without any delay, I am going to hand over to Baron so we can start.
All right. Thank you, wifey, for that usual wonderful precursor there. And as what my wife mentioned, that of course in house we have Christopher Henry, right, who is the Member of Parliament candidate for the constituency of North Central St. Andrew, to be specific, right, and also a junior opposition spokesman on foreign affairs, right. His overreaching vision, right, for his constituencies for the establishment of peaceful communities where all residents, right, have gainful employment, satisfactory infrastructure, proper housing, and access high quality educational and sporting opportunities. Without any delay, let us welcome. All right.
There we go.
Welcome, Brother Christopher. Right. It is a wonderful, right, good pleasure to have you here tonight with us. Right. in terms of this wonderful interaction that we are going to have. Now, I'm going to have Brother Christopher just introduce himself, right? Because this is the first time on the Mystic Sensation. Many of our persons here, right, might be, not knowing who Christopher is apart from me just doing the introduction. So let me just have you, right, introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself to us, Christopher. Without any, let me just hand over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to you, Byron, and to your panel,
Good evening.
and to all the watchers of this wonderful show. I am Christopher Henry. I am an attorney at law. As you heard, I'm the MP candidate for St. Andrew North Central, and I am a dedicated and strong member of the People's National Party. I am also not only the junior but the deputy spokesperson on foreign and regional affairs.
Yes.
It's something that I am very passionate about. St. Andrew North Central is somewhere that I'm also very passionate about. The constituency has been a bit stymied in its development for the past 45 years, and it's time to bring it to the 21st century with somebody who is young, new, and fresh, and not somebody who plans to continue the legacy of somebody who left it in development issues. So that's basically me. I'm not yet married, no children yet. This is my first time running in politics, as well as this is my first go, and I intend to be the first and ultimate go. And we intend to take the seat handsomely, as we have seen from our canvas.
Okay. Let me just go through a quick meet and greet, right, as it relates to our panel, so that Comrade Christopher can also know the names of persons who are on the panel. Let me just begin with Sister Pinks, right?
Mm.
Right, and then we get into the deck of things where that is concerned. Sister Pinks.
Good evening, Lady Lady Anne Marie. Good evening, Uncle Byron. Good evening, everyone in the chat, everyone in Jamaica, everyone on their flight to Jamaica to vote. To all my Jamaican brothers locally and overseas, and to my especially and to my comrades, blood and fire comrades in St. James,
Yes.
especially the ones at South this evening, and to my blood and fire comrades in Northwest St. James. I am
Yes.
Pink Stu Green and I'm here to represent at all times.
All right.
At all times, I yield.
All right. Love that, Sister Pinks. And let me just bring in Brother Melting Pot, the opening batsman, right, to meet and greet as usual. Go ahead, Melting Pot.
Thank you, Sir Byron. Well, I don't have to, acknowledge everyone by using this phrase, thank God it's Friday.
Thank God.
Here once live,
Mm.
yes, with special guests in the house tonight. None other
Yes.
than Member of Parliament candidate for the People's National Party, Mr. Christopher Henry. I must also acknowledge my female lioness on the platform tonight, Pink Stu, as usual, very well informative. I must also take pleasure in acknowledging the host, Sir Byron, and also our technical Lady Anne Marie. But most of all, I must also extend a warm greeting to everyone out there tuning in tonight. Hope you all have a very productive Friday and looking forward to your weekend with much anticipation. So as usual, we are here to just, relate to you all. So I yield back the floor to the moderator.
All right. Let us just bring back the man for the moment that we are going to be speaking to, right? As it relates to Christopher Henry, right? Now, brother Henry, right?
Yes.
Could you put him in the big brother Henry? I know that you have been canvassing your area. Uh,
Yes.
I know that you have some level of confidence, but we want to feel good because we want that seat. So we are just having a wonderful interaction tonight. How confident are you as it relates to taking home that seat for us?
I'm extremely confident. Uh, there's a wind of change that is blowing throughout North Central St. Andrew, and indeed, I will say the Northern Belt.
Yes.
That there is change that is coming. I think what has happened is that the other side has taken the constituents for granted.
Mhm.
They have assumed, and with the real, I don't want to call him that, but the real person that held, speaking of St. Andrew North Central specifically, with the person who had held North Central St. Andrew for the Labour Party now stepping into the pavilion, there is a serious chance for change, and people want the change because their loyalties didn't lie with the other side, it lay with the person, and with the person saying that they're stepping away, there is a wind of change that is blowing now.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. Right. Now, I'm not going to go into the cliche as usual, right? Asking about what are some of the vulnerabilities in your constituency and that. I'm doing away with that tonight. None of that tonight. What I am going to venture into, because you know that the People's National Party had now sent out their wonderful manifesto, and it is now seems to becomes a burden to the Jamaica Labour Party.
Exactly.
Right? It becomes a thorn in their flesh because instead of them now putting out their manifesto, it is the first time now I'm seeing that the Jamaica Labour Party is now critiquing a manifesto that the opposition put out, as opposed to them, you understand, putting out their manifesto to let the people of Jamaica see what their plans are. Now, having said that, right, there are some areas of the manifesto that I am overwhelmingly pleased. And so then I want to get into that, right? And, for you to just expound on that for us. Now, the PNP had recently released their manifesto, which I really love, right? Speak to us. It relates to the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Jamaica. And why is it important to have the CCJ as our final appellate court? Tell us some of the advantages, right, that we have pursuing the CCJ as our final appellate court.
Let me say this. It is you made a little mistake there. Caribbean Court of Justice, not
Caribbean
Caribbean
Court of
Court of
Justice, sorry.
Justice.
Sorry, my bad.
So let's just get the name correct
Correct, yes.
before I started. One of the first advantages that you can think of, because let me say, as I said earlier, I'm an attorney at law. We're already a part of the CCJ, in its what they call original jurisdiction. All
Yes.
treaty matters in relation to the Treaty of Chagaramos, which is the CARICOM Treaty, go to the CCJ. They have the exclusive jurisdiction to hear disputes in relation to the treaty. So we're already a part of the CCJ. What we haven't signed up for, as you rightfully said, is the appellate jurisdiction. Firstly, litigants who want a final court of appeal do not have to travel to England to have their matters heard. The costs alone are prohibitive to travel to England. Not only do you have to find your travel fare and lodgings, you also have to look at retaining solicitor and barrister over there. which
Yes.
is a pretty penny. Then we have to also remember that the litigation costs are in pounds, as opposed to the CCJ that will has a fund that funds it, and then the legal fees are not of such a high monetary value. There is also the excellent jurisprudence that has been coming from the CCJ in a number of matters. For
Agreed.
example, the Shanique Mary case, even though it's in its original jurisdiction, there's Joseph and Boyce, which said that they were not going to do away with what was held in the Privy Council in regard to um the death penalty, but they are going to start to chart their own course and start to look into what they can do differently. So that is, they have already demonstrated that they have the courage, and they not only courage, but um, they have the wherewithal and the legal acumen to move past what the Privy Council has held. Additionally, the CCJ also understands the culture. I've been told by many a judge and some judges that were as high as the Court of Appeal here in Jamaica that the English judges would struggle to understand for want of a better term, the vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
And in not understanding the vernacular, they they struggled to make decisions that were not they struggled to make decisions in relation to what they could not understand. With the CCJ, you have the benefit of a cultural understanding of what has been said, or evidence that has been taken in patois,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or evidence that has been taken in our Jamaican Creole. So that whole cultural block is gone. And some of those are just some of the few advantages to the CCJ rather than going to the Privy Council. It also asserts our independence as a nation after 63 years. It is time that we finally leave the king and, pardon the pun, his court behind.
Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, you're saying, as it relates to for justice to be fully balanced, as it
Yes,
relates to those who may, totally out of the capacity to afford to go to the Privy Council to seek justice, right?
yes.
The CCJ will offer that. So we want the Jamaicans who are listening here tonight to understand why the People's National Party is pursuing CCJ. It is for justice for everyone, and that is what is the objective. Am I right,
Right.
Christopher?
You are quite correct. You are quite correct.
Okay. All right. That
Quite correct.
drive me to my second question, which, trust me, I love this into the People's National Party. The inclusion of the diaspora and the Maroons having a say in the Senate. Tell us some of the benefits that will be generated from that, Christopher.
Instead of us trying to, one of the major benefits, instead of us as those in Jamaica, um, trying to understand the diaspora's not only struggles but issues, as well as what they would want to see of their country. You can have direct representation here in Jamaica, right? So you can speak from inside the parliament and enable legislation that will that will aid the diaspora and will help the diaspora to actively participate in Jamaica. For example, I know for many a moon the diaspora has complained about the red tape in bringing items into Jamaica. Now, with a diaspora senator and representation in the parliament, the diaspora can actually effect changes to the legislation that will
Mhm.
allow some of the red tape to be removed. So it will be
Agreed.
easier for them now to participate in helping their country as well as to aid in the development of their country. So that is one of the benefits, as well as it demystifies how Jamaican government operates, because sometimes some members of our diaspora have been in the United States for so long, and they have acclimatized themselves to just giving the United States as an example, they have acclimatized themselves to the US system of government. Now, having a representative in parliament, it is easier to understand now the system of government that Jamaica has, so they can understand it and better navigate it.
All right. So,
Yeah.
having said that, Christopher, you're not going to advocate for me to be in the Senate.
I would. Why would I not?
All right. All right. You know what? Let me say this. You don't have to answer this question because I don't really want to, put you into a spot. So let me say this to you. Let me warn you. You don't have to answer this question. You can pass it. But it's a question that I want to ask in terms of understanding as it relates to the People's National Party member of parliament candidate, right? In terms of the mindset, in terms of representation, and what is expected of them. So let me just go ahead and ask you my final question, and then I just have the other panelists ask you a question. What is your take learning that our Prime Minister highlighted in the IC affidavit, particularly Beresford affidavit, appearing to be Ponzi scheme hopping from Cash Plus, Olint, and SSL? Do you want to speak on it?
I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak on SSL because that's an ongoing investigation.
Okay.
So I leave in SSL alone.
Okay.
In relation to Olint and Cash Plus, I think, and as far as I'm going to say, I think it's quite worrying, and that's putting it mildly. It's quite worrying that the Prime Minister was able to make profit, draw his money, and move on. And I think it is also quite worrying of that these represent a method of enrichment, because these were two of the Ponzi schemes that made some Jamaicans very wealthy and some Jamaicans very destitute. So it's quite worrying, and it's quite discombobulating that he would actually feel so comfortable in just making money off of these Ponzi schemes and being able to look in front of people and then say to them that he is a man of the people. Because what you have done is actually, by right, robbed the people and enriched yourself. And that is as far as I'm going to go with that one.
Thank you very much, and I'm not going to push you any further. All right, Melting Pot, do you want to take it away? Go ahead with your questions, Melting Pot.
Yes. Okay, Sir Byron. Good night again to you, Mr. Christopher. Welcome to the
Good
program.
night. Good night.
Good night. Yeah.
That's fun.
In your introductory speech, you make mention of you venturing into politics for the first time. So,
Yeah.
this is the first time opportunity for you to seek, representation. Having done your canvassing, what is one of the most fundamental issues that you see could bring change to North Central St. Andrew?
A structured and proper road maintenance, structured and proper road maintenance program for the constituency. There are a number of roadways that have fallen into complete and total disrepair. There is Lawrence Avenue, Sullivan Avenue, Rochester Avenue. Well, the Charlton Gully is now being repaired. That's in the Norbrook Division, but we don't know how long that is going to last. There was some patching done up Summit Heights in Orange Grove with cement. Don't know how long that is going to last either, but it also fell into major disrepair. Orange View Terrace in Orange Grove. Um, Stillwell Road was recently repaired, but it fell into serious disrepair um, for the past about 3-4 years. So there are a number of roadways that have suffered. Another, based on our canvassing, another one of the major issues is the land titling, shockingly enough. Because North Central is considered one of the uptown areas, quote unquote, in Kingston and St. Andrew. And it has a land titling problem. There is one of our communities called Cassava Peace. That a number of the residents do not have their land titles, and it is poorly developed in terms of there is no water. The last time the road was paved was within the time when had crossed the floor to the People's National Party. So that is another major issue. There is also the issue of a lack of economic development and growth. There are a number of people in the constituency that they don't have any jobs, and they don't even have a method of entrepreneurial advancement, and they feel very despondent and rejected and like forgotten. So those are our three major issues within St. Andrew North Central.
Okay. And I
So
mean, I know that,
infrastructure development, infrastructural development, which comes under proper road maintenance, is also the issue.
right,
Also one of the
because
issues, yeah.
I was saying that I know that constituency, very well as it relates to Cassava Peace and the surrounding. I know community that, people, have developed off of their own initiative. Some nice houses are there, but I mean, they need also some more resource.
Right.
There are a lot of young youths, at the rightfully said, from that region that are not employed. And, I would just ask you, is there anything that you would put in place to get these young minds into working habit as it relates to anything like a skill training center?
What we
Going down the road of entrepreneurship, people like to do them to go on creative hustling, but we are more now embarking on skill to grow Jamaica and develop communities.
what we intend to do is to establish our relationship with heart, and to grow it. We already have started. We understand a lot of the young people want to enter into the creative industry, into music. As you know, Cassava Peace is the birthplace of Movado. Bujo Studio is actually in the constituency as well on Carlisle Avenue. So what we've approached Hart and said is that, sorry, sorry, it's just reading a message in relation to the constituency, and I'm not very happy with what I read it. Yes. So we are establishing a relationship with Heart in terms of classes to teach the skills to manage or to operate in the entertainment business, right? This is something that we would we would want to we would want to enhance and develop, because there's much talent in North Central St. Andrew. We also, in terms of entrepreneurial skill, to encourage the development of businesses that from our younger people. So we've encouraged them. We've established the plan Operation Jumpstart. So where they would develop their business plan or get help to develop their business plan, and they will present it to a set of business persons non-politically aligned, and we will give them some of the startup capital in relation to that business. We're not going to give them all of it, but we're going to give them some. So we're giving them a jump start so they can start a business, start to develop their own economic growth. In relation to those who want to go to Heart to Skills, we've already started that, established a direct link with the managing director of Heart. And I think about 10 or so youth have already benefited from that link, gone up to the Stony Hill Heart Academy to learn a skill, whether it be masonry or welding, etc., those along those lines. So we're trying to combat the lack of skill training and economic development and growth in North Central head on by getting our youth to work.
Okay. Thank you
Yes.
for eloquently answering those two questions. And I know, leave I have the member of the panel to ask you question as well.
Yes, no problem.
Okay, Lady Spinks, take it
Thank
away.
you. Thank you, Uncle Byron. Comrade Christopher Henry, welcome to Mystic Sensation.
Oh, you're the
And
Comrade Green.
I am here, my comrade brother. My question is this: why did you choose the PNP to represent as a political party as a young man who is going into politics?
The PNP has always been the catalyst for great development and change in Jamaica. The PNP is the party that has always been for the Jamaican people and have worked to development of the Jamaican people. It is quite clear. It is quite clear that the PNP is the party that led us towards full self-government, towards independence, led us to the modernization of the various legislation, as well as the the establishment of from speaking from my portfolio, as well as the establishment of our many very cherished international relations. There was no other choice. The other side was neo-colonialist, and it was the story of the creation of the other side is quite unattractive to me, um, because it just did not represent it. It represented self-interest. It did not represent the interest of the people. And even in our name, the People's National Party, it shows that we are here for the people and to develop the country. So it was an easy choice for me. I know that majority of my generation think that the Labour Party is the side that care about the people, but the Labour Party is the only side that cares about their pockets and themselves. So it was very easy for me to choose the PNP.
Okay, thank you.
All
That's the
right.
only question I had for you.
Yeah.
That is the only question. It seems like Christopher is defining crony capitalism related to the Jamaica Labour Party. That is what you're describing, Christopher.
It is, because I've seen some people get fabulously wealthy from politics that
Exactly.
I have never seen benefit, and I don't think that they should benefit. Um, there are certain, and I can speak from my own profession, there are certain attorneys at law that I see in government that I wonder You know, if it wasn't for them going into government, what would their private practice have been like? Or how would
Yeah,
they have been with the government? But I will call no names.
exactly.
You know,
Leave it at
so
that. We
I
call no
leave it
name.
at that. Yeah, I
All
leave
right.
it at that.
Yes. In the closing moments, I want you to use the platform in telling our Jamaican people, both locally and in the diaspora, because we currently have diaspora flying into Jamaica, right, ready to
Mhm.
make that vote, right? Tell them, why is it that they need to put the X beside the head and particularly vote for Christopher Bradford to represent them in Parliament?
Well, I'm going to talk directly to the residents of St. Andrew North Central. Uh, it is time for a change. It is time for a new face and a new person to represent St. Andrew North Central. They have a saying in Jamaica that says you must take sleep and mark death. The challenge on the other side has said that his mission is to continue the legacy of the incumbent.
Hmm.
When I look around North Central, I don't see what that legacy is. If it's a legacy of bad roads, no titles, no water, poorly lit streets, areas covered by zinc fencing, I am not sure that it should be business as usual. So I'm asking the residents and the constituents of St. Andrew North Central to let us fix it with Chris because everybody wins with Chris. We're going to improve the road maintenance. We're going to start our land titling programs. We're going to do Operation Jumpstart. We're going to encourage economic growth and creation. We're going to bring in the Portia initiative that was in the manifesto, by the way, to remove the zinc fencing at in certain areas of the constituency and to give the persons a feeling of belonging. So with all of that said, there's plans here that are for the advancement of the constituency and for it to become the shining constituency within the Northern belt. So it's time for a change, it's time to renew, it's time to move forward. So let's have a new face in Parliament for St. Andrew North Central.
All right. My final question to you.
Yes.
The final question. The comrade leader, right,
Yes.
is pursuing, right, as it relates to checks and balance and transparency, right? And so then he see fit to, pursue what we call an impeachment bill, right? Would that something that you would rally around in supporting an impeachment bill into law?
Completely.
And tell us why.
There needs to be more accountability in politics and in Garden House and in within the legislature. We have had I think in our history it's only one government minister that has gone to gone to prison for want of a better word, hanky panky for corruption, and that is oh my lord, J.A.G. Smith.
That, no,
Which
it's actually six that have gone through the prison from 1954 until now.
okay, all right. Well, see, I am guided. I am
Yeah,
guided because I was born in 1990, so I only know about J.A.G. Smith.
it's actually six.
Right? Right. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to note that a lot of politicians, because the quote unquote aspect of corruption or the modus operandi of corruption did not rise to the level of rise to the level of crime, they were not charged, and the DPP would have to unfortunately rule that they were not the DPD rule that they were not culpable in any criminal activity, so they walked away scot free. Mind you, their reputation would have taken a hit,
Yes.
but 9-day wonders in this country never cease to amaze me. And how short the memory of our Jamaican people sometimes is actually quite astounding. But the impeachment bill would ensure that such things would the 9-day wonders would cease, and the person could be impeached based on the activity. So I would wholeheartedly support the party leader and the next prime minister of Jamaica to pass this impeachment bill and to hold the members of parliament and the senators accountable.
Thank you very much. And dear ended the question. And we want to say a big thanks to you, Christopher, to pass through. And don't be a stranger.
Yes.
You're free to pass through again. All right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes,
thank you very much.
I thank you. I thank you for having me. I thank you for putting up with me being in office, even though the angle of the camera. And I thank you for putting up with me in the half green, because I don't know how I managed to put on this shirt today.
We didn't notice it, you know. We would speak on it if we had noticed it, but
No, I was waiting for it, and I said, boy, but let me say it and cut it off before it is said, but
Only a color.
yes.
okay.
Only a color. Agreed.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Wonderful
Yes, man.
chat with Christopher Henry there, right? Member of Parliament candidate for constituency of North Central St. Andrew. And people, particularly in Christopher's constituency, please go out and support Christopher. We want a Christopher in Parliament, right? We want someone with the brain power, right, to be in Parliament to represent us. Jamaica, it's time now that we do the right thing and choose the right people. We are talking about meritocracy. Thank you, Chris, for being, right, making it Mr. Sensation.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a wonderful and blessed weekend.
Now, Jamaica, let me go into the mystic vibration. And me actually say a bangarang over here tonight, you know. Now, people, my Jamaican people, let me play this when we talk about the level of desperation. It just gone out of proportion. The level of deceptiveness. Oh my God, it's gone. People, look on this clip here. Just look on this clip that we are going to play. TikTok video. Right. Yeah. Look at this that we are going to play. Unbelievable. I can't believe that the Jamaican Labour Party, trust me, gone to this level. But, it's understandable because of the situation that, the members of Parliament involved as it relates to the level of, allegation of criminality, right? The Prime Minister, Ponzi scheme upping from Cash Plus to All Int and from All Int to SSL, unbelievable. And so, right? I only can do this, show you all the base. This is the all right. So this is what I want you to pay attention to. People can't believe this, right? Let me just send it back to you again. So, the level of desperation is just, amazing. Really amazing, people. Right? Really amazing. Right? So let me just, deal with that. GLP lean debate. All right. We have a situation here. Okay, let me just send it to the bottom.
Oh, if it's that one.
Yeah. All right, look at this, people. Look at this. And people, listen keenly what is going on here.
So I just want all labor rights know. Election is September 3rd, but PNP for September 4th. So show labor rights. Because
now play it back again because I want them to listen keenly. of what being uttered here. Unbelievable.
So I just want all labor rights know. Election is September 3rd, but PNP for September 4th. So show labor rights. Because
Now, just imagine people. The JP convoy and their campaign in the rural area shouting out that JP must go out and vote on September 3rd, and the People's National Party will be voting on September 4th. Now, people, no, people, this is the level of desperation, right? Because we are calling out them on AI, we are suing them, and trust me, they resort to other mechanisms, right? A heavy convoy of Jamaica Labour Party and their political campaign shouting that the Jamaica Labour Party, right, the labor rights must vote on September 3rd, show a labor right, vote on September 3rd, and the People's National Party must vote on September 4th. Let me tell you something. It is not going to happen, you know. So Jamaican people, and whosoever tune in, please pass on the message. Everyone is going to be voted on September 3rd. Nothing to do with September 4th. Everyone must focus on September 3rd. Please don't follow that convoy, JP convoy, to distract you. Please be reminded that voting is on September 3rd. And for who listening to me, tell your neighbor, pass it on, right? Don't listen to any form of September 4th voting, right? That no exists. September 3rd is for you to participate in voting. Let me spread that message, please. Now, let us get into this next clip, right? And listen what is going on here. Right? I mean, this is just crazy. The level of desperation and things, you know. Now, this is before I play this clip on you. Hold on, just ease a finger upon the trigger there. Jamaica people, my comrades, brothers and sisters, the disrespectful nature of Christopher Tufton is going to find Christopher Tufton in serious problem. Christopher Tufton, earlier today, I stated that Christopher Tufton, as a result of pride, he got his ultimatum for Friday, this Friday, to come out and apologize, right? And it seems like he decided that he's going to make pride overtake him. And he doubled down. As a result, you know what is happening now? The sheriff, right, is now moving, right? I mean, with a double sprung. So the sheriff is now suing him, and the sheriff is also pursuing for him to be charged for the breaching of a cyber act. Now people want to listen to this here, because this is getting more serious and tough time. Listen to this.
Lawyers representing former parliamentarian Katie Knight have written to the Police High Command, requesting an investigation into the conduct of JLP campaign chairman Dr. Christopher Tufton and the Jamaica Labour Party. The letter follows a recording played at a JLP meeting last Sunday. In the recording, Mr. Knight was heard expressing no confidence in PNP President Mark Golding's leadership. But according to attorney Bert Samuels, the audio was manipulated. In the letter to Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake, the attorneys say they are of the belief that the actions of Dr. Tufton and the JLP in airing the recording at the public meeting are in breach of the Cybercrimes Act.
Take that away. A breach of the Cybercrime Act. So let me just go to the panel and let me talk about this a little bit. Now, a breach of the Cybercrime Act, right? The question is now that Jamaica is going to see if the Jamaica Constabulary Force is going to act accordingly, based on the fact that evidence of the breach, and it is now for the police, right, to go and charge Tufton. Jamaica is going to sit and wait and look, right, to understand that, okay, might be the laws are divided. There's a set of laws for the elite and who lives in the bubble, and there's a set of laws for the poor and needy. We want to know now, to the fact that, right, the police admit that there's a breach in the Cyber Act. The question, are they going to charge Christopher Tufton? Let me say, take it away, Spinks. What say you on the matter?
Thank you, Uncle Byron. You know, many years ago, I happened to have met Christopher Tufton through another client of mine who actually is his business partner, one of his business partners. And because of that association, Christopher Tufton became one of my clients. And I met his wife, I met his children during that time. And he was a decent, relatively decent young man. But it seems as if when you put a good apple amongst a rotten barrel of apples, the good apple becomes corrupt. And in my estimation, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I would say this is what happened to Christopher Tufton, because he was associated with the PNP, he was associated with the NDM, and he was never a corrupt person until he went full-fledged into the Jamaica Labour Party under the Andrew Holness administration, and he's now a corrupt person. There is nothing we can do at this moment but just watch him fall from grace little by little, because that accident that he said happened when he was hit off his bicycle and fell. No, Christopher Tufton, you will know what a real accident is going to feel like, because I am not ashamed to say I outed you on that when you made that statement on a public stage.
Yes.
I have to contact my sheriff and let him know that you were breaking the law. I had to, because I had to look out for the people who look out for me, because the sheriff looks out for us Jamaicans and represent. And why would you sit there comfortable in a barrel full of rotten apples and have yourself being corrupted by them? We still cannot get over market me, con and scam. You looked at us and you told us during COVID, if we want water, we must get the vaccine.
Wow.
Christopher Tufton, you do not realize how corrupt you have become. The person I met years ago is completely different from what I'm seeing now. I am one person in Jamaica who has been disappointed by you. Trust me, We never expected it to reach this level. And you come out bold-facedly, committed this, and then before you apologize and step back, you're going to double down and behave like Andrew. You are no Andrew's official twin
Exactly. Exactly.
because you have a doctorate before your name, and you worked for your doctorate, unlike your friend Andrew,
There
who
you go.
paid for his.
Let me tell you
Because
about
Andrew only paid for a DPL with the assistance of his friend Andrew, Miss Marks there, right? And if Trump can tell us that he doesn't want Miss Marks in America because she's corrupt, Trump, think about it.
Hmm.
After having 98 things against him in court, Trump could say that about a Jamaican. That means Miss Mark is more corrupt than him himself, Trump.
There you go.
And Christopher Tufton, you sat there in that corruption, you accepted it. We saw what you did when you came out and talked about how after weeks after the plane crash, one of the planes that crashed, you said you and your friends were on a beach and these non-Jamaicans casually walked on that beach. We can put two and two together. The
Exactly.
Jamaican public is not stupid. And
Exactly.
I hope you realize your mistake by tonight before 12 o'clock. Because today is Friday. Friday is still Friday here in Jamaica. Midnight, Friday ends. Saturday start the other day. Look within yourself and make a change. I yield my floor.
Thank you so much, Spinks. Wonderful input there. Now let me bring in the open batsman, right, to speak on this issue. Open batsman, we have a situation here where it seems like Christopher Tufton did not yield, sir, to the ultimatum, and as thus, it seems as if the chief is taking it no further, right? Applying what we call a two-sprung approach, right? One is pursuing a lawsuit, right? And also pursuing for Christopher Tufton to be charged. And you have heard where the police officers, they are admitting that there is a breach of the Cybercrime Act. What say you on the matter?
Well, clear and obvious as it relates to Christopher Tufton and breach in the Cyber Act law. And we all know that constitutes a criminal offense. Now, what has been so depressing is the fact that Christopher Tufton put him pride in front of everything and decided not to apologize to the sheriff. And so the sheriff had no alternative but to go ahead with the lawsuit and also apply more pressure as it relates to the Cyber Act law that Christopher Tufton breach. Because as Pinksview rightly say, he was a part of the People's National Party. And it seemed like milk and honey never flow over here, so them go on the greener grass. And them start to eat all type of vegetation and get fat. You understand? And so now him find himself being so politically loyal to the cause of a corrupted leader. That's him try everything within him scope for, promote Andrew Wallace and denounce Mark Walden by using a recorded message tape where them have. I don't know them get it and go doctor it. We all know the tape was doctor using the AI at them disposal. And that don't sit well with the sheriff, because that is defamation of character.
Indeed.
The sheriff is a man who has been true and loyal to the People's National Party for several years. But this man now come and make allegation against the sheriff, saying that the sheriff said that Mark Holding is not the man to lead the People's National Party and should never be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. So he find himself in a hot water with the sheriff. And I think some former initiation must be dealt out to Tough Tongue. Because them get to too much hanky-panky, you know. Because them things them have a leader who have all the resources that relate to power in Jamaica. So them can do anything and get away with it. But, you know, over a period of time, time will change. And time is now beginning to change. Where if you notice, even the common people in Jamaica now speak out. Them a find a voice to speak out against what them say are going on the right. Because social media give them that platform to speak and now, you know. And they have seen people in the space of social media, yeah, who has, you know, no fear as it relates to speaking out against corruption in Jamaica. So people catching on to that syndrome and making use of their freedom of speech as it relates to our democracy. Yeah, gone are the days now when people think so well that boy, everybody now can be Muslim. No, it's not everybody can be Muslim. Yeah, we have to take off that little thing there for the people and free them up. Because Bob Marley said, you know, you must emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. And the time come. Because under the Labour Party government, you know, all we can see is corruption and mayhem. And I think the people are now tired of this type of recipe where them a serve up. It's like the people have now benefit from that because it's not a protein. So the people want to look over the People's National Party side and say, well, then over there, so you know, a quality food that serve up. And we want some of that now. Because we're tired of the junk food where Andrew has served. You understand? So the People's National Party now have them in a conundrum where them start to even look on the People's National Party manifesto and try to copy it.
Yes.
Because they have nothing. They could not present anything like what the People's National Party present as a manifesto to campaign on. What we see there campaigning on is some gutter politics style of campaign where they might change up people's voice and I make all type of controversy. You understand? And right now, that is a recipe for disaster. We know that what Christopher Tough Tongue came out and did Sunday at that rally has wiped out practically 10% of them vote already. That was another nail in a Andrew coffin. So sometimes when you dig a hole in there, you must dig two. One for the person you're pursuing and one for yourself. And right now, I think Tough Tongue, in my look on film one, because the sheriff make sure no send order spot for Tough Tongue. A lawsuit, Tough Tongue have to find himself in a court. And then, to make matters worse, here is another one now, and this one now is more serious. Because this is a criminal offense as it relates to breaches of the Cyber Act. Tough Tongue should have known that. So Tough Tongue find himself around some gangster and them lead him astray. Because Pinks do say, well, when she knew him, you know, at that time, he was a modest person and she couldn't believe so well then would have fallen from grace to disgrace. But it not surprise me. Not surprise me, Ronnie, it not surprise Byron. Because we have seen the trajectory that Christopher Tough Tongue has pursued. He has become a liar second to Andrew Wallace. Him lie on everything up to toilet paper, the man lie on. So we can't have this guy no more. And I mean, we're tired of them now. You understand? Because them people are not bring nothing more than scandal for we discuss on a weekly basis. Yeah, would I like to discuss some more uplifting things in Jamaica, but we cannot.
Exactly.
Because the autocratic government does not give us the opportunity to speak on other matters. We are dealing with them corruption because it is so, devastating what they are doing in Jamaica. From thieving the taxpayers' money to selling off Jamaica asset, giving away beach and land, all type of things they do. You understand? And they're not creating nothing for the young people in Jamaica, nothing for the elderly people. Yeah? Nothing have they done to benefit Jamaica society. So once again, call on Jamaican to be very patriotic. Don't be partisan, because right now, what this government has done to Jamaica, it is more than the 8.5 earthquake that struck Russia the other day. It measures more than that on the Richter scale of corruption in Jamaica. When you have $3 trillion gone,
Oh, yes.
you them are spend the money with no accountability. Them not produce, no invoice, no purchasing, nothing at all. When them do just come talk, them can't show no evidence to back up what them say. And when we investigate them, we see widespread corruption and thievery. And tough tongue fall in another category there. Field ministry, over $900 billion. Come on.
It's crazy.
I want money them, that serious money them there. That has deprived the health sector to the extent where it get travel advisory, to the extent where the people can't get look after in the country. You understand? And it's bad. So we have to call on the electorate. Don't listen to this garbage. We are going around and talk about PMP to vote on the 4th and Labour right to vote on the 3rd. That is a lunatic and just sent on the road. And they should have been arrested for making public mischief.
Oh, yes.
If the police come arrest him. But the law we have in Jamaica, it don't look for them type of behavior in a society. That is a public mystery. And I yield back the floor.
All right, thank you. Let me just take a call from Sister Pat, right, before we proceed. Right, Sister Pat, what you said? Talk to me now. Sister Pat, you know how you go?
Good night. Yeah, man, good night. Bless up, bless up. You know, I'm more a couple of minutes. You know, sometimes it's a mistake.
Yes.
You have to think far and wide and think and look and just a look.
Exactly.
No, the PNP has put out a manifesto where all mature people like we used to election. None of young people, I don't know, but we know every year that's what they do their thing. You tell me, say, the incumbent political party take the people a manifesto and that which would them not put out none. Look how low them be, brother. No, look at no. When they have PMP, JP, no PMP, look at it. When you see people put out things where we used to, PMP put out manifesto and Labour put out and we looking at us, some of them, all over there right now, some of them never manifest, but people still don't look at the procedure. Before we put out manifesto, the people read it, who not take the PMP manifesto and dissect it.
Exactly.
She said, no worse than serpent. Jamaica people may appeal to Uno. Uno, she says, a one feel a dunce in the Labour Party. Them not have no use but to pull up them back. Christopher Tough, and you seem like the worst of the duelists. You're worse than Andrew Wallace. And you're strong with it. But let me tell you, you fall from grace to disgrace. This way I do, I follow you, pick me. History, I go on my history on the wrong side. See, I got the history on the wrong side, but you are worse. We are worse, so if you stop it. Jamaican people, voters, me a call down. We will take more time and look through what's happening. These people will have nothing good to tell with, nothing good to give them more for themselves and save them class from prison. And let me tell you, no, say, every living soul will go with Antolis are good on a patrol. Them are good on in a territory. Then Maris Dixon, what you say your name? You are good on in a history like one big piece of thing over to describe you as. The world around will link with Andrew Wallace. Who are good on Andrew Wallace, none of you like using like a ladder to climb a building. And when you reach for the building, you kick down the ladder. Since the coming as Saint Tanya, it coming like a when. Don't even know what if I'm out of here that. Don't even know if I'm out of here that. Nobody know why you see them wanting to wanga belly. We said the Prime Minister passed through the Prime Minister of the country, the Prime Minister people. And nobody more to look at the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister. When you know no matter what, but Prime Minister come people in a plea to see Prime Minister. Not saying that. No, saying that people this are cost we can't get no taxi card. When they come taxi guard, what them business, they don't have nothing to do with them. They don't want bungle up in a them. Me this reach to over in a fall of brownstone and me I tell you bang around no taxi. Taxi man then take what they serve for when they got take my back. Eh?
Disgrace.
Flavor Williams. We don't know much about you. But to me understand you was a good businesswoman and you have a good character. But you say your character while now. And you continue to go a call press conference and affirm yourself. And belittle yourself more, you belittle yourself already. What is it that Andrew put on? Make good honor years of study, sacrifice. Someone will not come from a rich family. I'm not just take you and dash you and I need to be able to for one man, and up in the country will be fine. All of the soldier will be like this when a soldier die in a action enough, you see every country, you know. A man who know I serve, who know I serve, who know husband, who know daddy, who know picnic. Make him do all his family serve him. Who know she said no character. Who know come like some girl where every man like the community. True. And see if you get that husband, he have to go where. And so no come in. And who know the man to no woman, no good woman, no want to know. Nobody no want them that have to live with who no picnic. And one thing say, you know my father was can't work. Who no good. Who no stop it. And Jamaican people is only a few weeks left, or 2 to 3 weeks left. Me I beg when no go there. When you go, they don't make them promise no nothing. The man promise street story market I watch you how long it long can't broke. He promise silicon dog a class dog he can't come. Everything when promise is just a lie, blatant lie. In the history of our country, you're gonna read. You have never seen an incumbent prime minister party where he never 2 terms straight. My son of a lie. Come on, Jamaican people. I beg of you, vote like you never voted before. Like your life depends on it. Remember, look on the little grand picnic and look at their face right now if you know them near them. Call them by their name. And ask yourself, what word they gonna left give them? What would I want them to be? Like that, we want some more doctor. We want nurse. We were engineer. We don't want nobody to product better than a telephone. Baby answer a telephone, I don't know nothing. Right? Look at bright, Damien Crawford. We don't not even worry for wearing ISAT today. We not going to disrespect people. We not going to disrespect security officer. We not security not touch me. And the amount of million for security company want me. We work for years now security in our house. Every time we got NHD, they don't know me. And every place from there, NHD money come out there. And the one man, security officers, retired and present, you know, go out and vote to get to no money where the government to go from 2023. Members of the government tell them to give away money from 2023. And then prepare like carpet, mark gold and the team, I go take it from like carpet and fix up it. You know, remember that. We are beg of you. We live here, we feel it, we understand it. And I really could speak over time, you know, they take mistakes all the time. Mark gold is saying, wait with that.
Yes,
I believe
definitely.
that is right. Over time, you know, we know work out. We know work out people, we are up and Jamaica lazy party, lion party. We know come up from Mark Woolley. We know just, we not even run the election, just throw it on and make me go make Mark Woolley take over. Tear down, now yield back.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, Sister Pat, for that. All right, now we are going to get into some very serious business here. Now, you remember, I keep on saying that I wonder that when, you know, our Prime Minister to be, Mark Jefferson Golden, right, take over the bottom, right? If there is going to be adequate money in the treasury. And I am getting more concerning as it relates to that. Now, Jamaica people, look at this situation here in terms of why I am so concerned about that very same situation, right? I think that, you know, and that is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why, you know, the Jamaica Labour Party is fighting so hard. They don't want to lose. And then all of this, all of the shame coming out, mighty God. Now, look at this paper. Look at this. No, yeah, bring it up so that. Okay. Look at this paper. I think that is okay. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, look at this paper. Let me try to stand tight because I want it to be that big for you to read it. Right? Okay, so all right. Let us take that away. All right, cool. Thank you. All right. August 14, 2025, that was yesterday. The JTA is advising that having been invited to a meeting at the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service scheduled for Friday, August 15, 2025 at 10 a.m., which is today, no new offer was placed on the table, and despite the urging of the JTA team, nothing new was forthcoming as the JTA sought to advance the wage negotiation with the ministry on behalf of the nation's teachers. In light of the aforementioned, the JTA team has given the Ministry of Finance until midnight Sunday, August 17, 2025, to come up with a better offer, failing which the association reserves the right to activate all its machinery to respond. Now, what kind of bangarang I go on in our country? Then hold on then. When I read them as something here, let me stop it right there so before I finish this. When I read this, now Andrew Honest claimed that he had brought down poverty from 18% to 9%. Now him say he has unemployment rate, right, at what? 3.8%. Now then what is going on? Teachers having problem in terms of getting their money. Police having problem in terms of getting money. Right? The nurses having problem in terms of getting money, their money. The doctors having problem, you know. So when we look on the entire civil workers, they are having a fundamental problem with this government. Right? And while that they are at the bargaining table, right? They are telling the civil workers to satisfy with their income, while them got 200 to 300% raise. Make it make sense. GLP are those who they run behind GLP. Make it make sense, huh? Eh? Now, I mean, you are already getting more pay than teachers and nurses, and you decided to take 200 and 300% raise. Now the teachers and nurses and civil workers who are doing more work than politicians, they are being treated like the underdog. And while the politicians who are doing less work is getting much more pay, 200 and 300% increase. Want to make it make sense? Make it make sense. The JTA wishes to indicate that the nation teachers deserve a more livable wage. Talk to them. Let them know, say, the wage one deserve is a livable wage. No stipend. Because them get pay this month, right? Them can't, if them go market, them can't go supermarket. And that is the reality on the ground. And so then when Azan is coming out and telling Andrew Holness, and yeah, me say, trust me, tell Andrew Holness, right? That the economy is wrecking. The policies of the Jamaica Labour Party is wrecking the economy plus the tea free. The policies are no good. The tea free is worse. And I am telling, listen to me, I don't have to speak to any economist. When you have a government, right, that cannot give an account for $3 trillion, then that in itself will create what we call a shock in the economy. Right? That in itself will cause a shock in the economy. Because number one, our national debt is $2.4 trillion. And the T3 exceeding our national debt. I want to make it make sense. Now, I believe that they don't have any money in the treasury. What they are reporting is just lies, it's just PR, because guess what? Nepotism, cronyism, and skullduggery. People may tell you, based on the pattern of what I see, because number one, you're going into a general election. You don't even want to use, right, this wage thing to gain political mileage. And when you can't use this for political mileage, then something is definitely wrong. Eh? So the teachers that go against you, right? The police that go against you, the nurses that go against you, right? Because remember, you won't call on this for yourself if you really want to win the general election. And if you are desperate to win the general election and you can't come up in the kitty, you understand, we get a little support and get political mileage. You understand, in PA might be, you understand, a 15 or 20%. You understand, as it relates to civil worker pay or even more. You understand? When the government can't do that, it is telling me that the government don't really have the money in its coffers. Because the money gone in a politician pocket, and that it look like to me, I don't know how other people reading it, Right? You have so many civil workers are complaining, see, a 0% offer in any of the years is untenable. Can you imagine? No, you're not venturing into a general election and you want to win. and you don't come up with 0%. It simply means you don't have nothing in your coffers. You don't have nothing in your coffers. May I say to the Comrade leader, the Prime Minister to be, right? Every single ministry has to be audited.
And the result made public.
And the result made public. Every single ministry has to be, has to be audited, and people have been hearing me, saying that, look here, when Mark Golden win on September 3rd, Mr. September 4th, right? Me think say the 49 members them need to hand over them passport, then travel document to the police station, Because I tell you what happened to us and look here, apart from all of them thief for that. You understand? They're not in. This is one of the reasons why they don't want the People's National Party to be in power. Bangarang is going to reveal. Mighty God, it not look good. People be telling them take that away. It just not look good. Now, Martin Pat.
Yes, sir, Byron.
What say you on this as it relates to the JTA, right? Giving an ultimatum. What say you on it?
Well, a long time we know the country broke, and I'm going to try to hide it. Yeah, but we know the country broke. Because when you move $3 trillion from out of your public fund, then come on. You don't expect nothing to leave there. But let me say this. Never in the history in Jamaica where you've seen so many civil servants from different professions that can't get paid, that should be getting their salary from the government. It's not like them are work for private sector. They are working in the public sector. So their wages are paid by the government. Now, when you see a government who were on vast amount of salary prior to their increase, but award themselves 230 to 300% on top of the amount of millions where they get already, and can't pay them civil servant.
Something wrong.
The man scrape the pot and leave not a streak of gravy in there for nobody else. Them clean the pot. So we have a crisis in Jamaica now because I have the right to say no, Sir Byron. Going into an election period, you have sweeten the coffee to get the voters' morning kiss. But Andrew can't sweeten nothing. Where it is concerned in regards to, people with more IQ in a society, him no want to deal with them, because them people them have to pay them. Them people are working class people. Who you say Andrew, I run and I try to get up, and the people who are unemployed when no one can use a little small amount of money and beat them because them people desperately need of it. Those are the people who haven't seen a salary for a mighty long time. So anything we dangle in front of them, they have a goal on it, and them people like Andrew a source. Because Andrew can't talk to the teachers, him can't talk to the nurse, him can't talk to the policeman, him can't talk to the doctor then. Because all of these civil servants are disgruntled at his behavior as it relates to not offering a livable wages to these people. You can't treat civil servants like them and nobody in your country, like regard them and recognize them and respect them. You have to treat civil servants with utmost respect because they are doing a great service to the country. They make up a spine within the country. So when we start to lose our well-trained civil servant and them gone past the green, this is what Andrew Willis want, because it leave a gap when we can take people who are unqualified to fill those posts. I know of them using young aspiring teacher to be teaching in established classroom where they are not up to that standard to teach.
Yes.
But they are doing it just to facilitate the school being open to accommodate the student. So we have a big problem in Jamaica right now. And as you rightly say, Sir Byron, I don't think there is anything left in the kitty.
Exactly.
So when Mark G come in, a complete forensic auditing have to be done on all the ministry, and people must be held accountable.
Yes.
As we know that they ravish the taxpayers' fund just to enhance this lavish lifestyle where they want to pursue. And I mean, there's no more mileage that them can get out of them lifestyle because they are already privileged people. They get grants, they get stipends, they get all type of things, they get visa to travel. They have a good lifestyle already. But these men using the Edward Seaga model, where Andrew Holness upgrade the model, them see it as something lucrative for them. So they are making sure that they scrape the pot dry. They have done it before. Whenever the Labour Party know that they can't win an election, they mash up the economy and then start campaign on it as opposition because they know the state where they leave the country now. We're not fool. We know the mode of operandi, how them operate. We've seen it done before. So I'm just saying we have to abolish this Jamaica Labour Party from the landscape of politics in Jamaica. We can't keep bringing them back. Whenever you bring them back, you mash up what is being restored and built. Because a restoration program, the People's National Party have to undertake, you know. In the first month in office, they have to start that. And the restoration program must start from the auditing. That must be fundamental. Because we don't want nobody say them did left 10 cents. We don't go one or none they did there. So we have to make that clear to the entire Jamaica population, the finding and the investigation. It must not be kept, it must be published and repeated play on mainstream media, more so the television sector. You understand? We have it on our show too, but we have to highlight the crisis of the country before we fully get to work. Because without the People's National Party undertaking such a process, then people are going to come back with them anti-panky and come tell lie again. Now the next 5 year cycle. And we can't afford that, you know. Because me, I tell Jamaican, say, I don't think the Labour Party will ever rebound. I think this time is their last participation in politics. Because right now, you know, as several of them are run where after that done and the integrity commission are going to reveal the findings. If them win, we have to go by election. And that will cost the country again. You let them know what they are doing, you know.
Yes.
Then people know what they are doing. How can you know that you're under investigation and you still put yourself up for re-election? I know very well say if you even win, when the IC report finally come out and you've been charged, you can't represent the people and that seat will become vacant and we will have to have another by-election where we cost the country millions of dollars. And them nastiness still show up themselves like them are clean people if you are running a politics. Dirty people can't enter politics. Corrupted people not supposed to have nothing to do around politics. It's only people of high moral and integrity must enter into politics. People have a will to serve the people who they are representing must come into politics. You can't have people with a, you know, a process in them head as it relates to get rich. And that them come to become wealth. We can't have that, man. And I yield back the floor.
All right, thank you. Yes, we have a caller online. I'm going to make the caller. go through. Yes, caller, welcome to Mystic Sensation Live. All right, go ahead.
Good night, freedom fighters.
Good night, my dear.
Continue the fight. We're going to broke up with them upon them.
Blessings.
People in the chat, big up. The fight is on.
All right.
Near reach the winning line. Okay.
Okay.
Listen.
Yes, my dear.
Listen to me now. Now, a tough time. I'm surprised that that's win too. I'm in press conference again. Camina. Camina no Mina.
Camina.
You see, press conference to critique.
Unbelievable.
Our manifesto. Our decent, nice manifesto. Well laid out. So guess what? Things should have happened now. Topsan did not come out to have a press conference to address the amount of people died in the hospital and the condition of the hospital.
Exactly.
And the illness. And also the drug. And Topsan have the audacity, him of all the person, to be having press conference on PNP manifesto. So guess what I think should happen now? A press conference coming from the People's National Party. And Joanna, his wife, and all the other millions. Well, I know we can't call out all the names, but we kind of know some already. But a press conference addressing these issues, you know why? People, some of their supporters on the JP side still don't believe that Sisi is one of the best prime ministers. Don't know where they get that narrative from. I cannot even understand it. I don't want to even understand the nonsense. So I'm suggesting people in the chat and people in here have my voice. We need to hear a press conference on these people. Yes, and our voice as well before the general election comes. A press conference on these people that have done Jamaica so much wrong. What do you all say? Mystic, let me hear your views on this right now. We need a press conference on them since they can go to critique our decent, well put together manifesto. And Topsan has never come out and addressed the issues that he needed to address. Okay? And that's my point.
Thank you very much. And I have to agree with the caller, I know, because when you look at it, it's the first in history, though, right, that you have, the opposition put out, right, their mandate, and the incumbent is critiquing the opposition mandate. The opposition supposed to be critiquing. No, the opposition supposed to know, have their mandate ready and waiting. It is unbelievable that they don't put out a mandate. You understand? Giving the people reasons to vote for them. But they are now critiquing. No, we can't make up this, But again, no, we can't make up this, right? No, all right, let me just set this last call and because we have to run the program. And Carl, we're just giving you just 3 minutes to wrap up because we have a lot to speak about. Go ahead, Carla. Yes.
Press conference.
Carla, let me say this to you. Are you ready? You ready? That's very real. Say the bus almost left you at the bus stop. You ready? You said the right thing. You said the right thing, you ready? First in the history this ever happened. Mighty God.
Since houses, right? I have a vested interest in critiquing a manifesto.
All right, put it.
Not in the sense that just dissecting it and looking at it from a perspective of whether this is good or bad.
Yes.
But it is now become a scenario where your opponent is not even critiquing the document. What they throwing cold water on the document, and you come out with TV and them kind of foolishness to come critique. So when you why you don't produce something then? We better have the PMP hold that you should hold a press conference. When you come and play the conference, you come with your manifesto.
Man. Look here.
This is what we are putting forward in compared to them.
Uriel, what a press conference need to put out, right, is a press conference need to put out as it relates to as to why the Prime Minister being a part of Ponzi schemes and why the Prime Minister being Ponzi scheme happen. A press conference need to put out with that. Why the Prime Minister find himself in cash plus, then make millions of dollars, right? Then find himself in Orient, make millions of dollars, find himself into FSL. That is what we need a press conference for.
Not only that, for the Prime Minister to present his documents to clear his name, because he claims he's innocent. So hold a press conference with all the required documents that he should have in order to say that he got his money fair and square, and there's nothing illicit about him getting his money. That's what the press conference about.
This man come out and talk about him work hard where?
Hey, look here.
Who employ him?
When?
Who does he employ? Me don't know. My country really gone backward. Because we think these media houses supposed to, after the affidavit come out, supposed to consider them and say, oh, come here, man.
But listen to this now. Listen to this now. Inclusion started out with 2 taxis. Right? 2 taxis. Now, I want to in 1998. What was the taxi fare? What was the taxi fare per person?
98.
I'm going to share something we're very serious in terms of the Prime Minister.
I'm talking about $20, $15, right?
And no, you tell me, you know. You tell me, you know. You understand me? I say, I mean, our 2 taxi is going to have the Prime Minister have roughly about what? $4 million. How 2 taxis going to do that? Eh? How 2 taxis are going to do that?
I believe that based on the Prime Minister's utterance and his what do you call now? I'm looking for a particular word. What is his mantra? Let me use that word.
Yes.
To take 2 taxi and make $10 million a year. Right? He feels that them taxi money we are run taxi in Jamaica right now, they're wicked and they're bad. They're no business acumen.
But again,
because if every taxi operator in Jamaica now supposed to make probably $40 million a year.
Hold on, Rural. Remember, no, investigator like us is going to ask him also as it relates to his operating expense. Because remember, say have to buy gas in. And remember, say have to pay drivers, you know. So how much you pay the driver? And you have to maintain the vehicle.
You have to pay insurance.
And you have to pay insurance.
You have to pay drivers. You can't drive them yourself. So
you tell me.
Sir.
You
it's
just crazy.
Good.
Yeah. Rural.
Impossible. What the money with him tonight?
Yes.
If I listen. He is a wicked man. Because in a COVID.
No, I'm just wicked man.
Him know how to make so much money. $400 million pass through so much shell company. And him not tell Jamaica people, oh, they can't make money and come out of poverty.
Well, hold on there. Then if you know when Cash Plus is going to crash, and he take FEMA and jump out before he crash, and he not tell nobody. You think he don't tell anybody about the situation that's so then he's not going to do that.
Lucrative business, don't it?
He's not going to do that.
As you call him, the man is pure evil, man.
And look here now, he might talk about Singapore. He won't even get a chance to come out for the plane and lock him up. before he put him to ground.
He should have mentioned that because I don't know where we're going to Singapore.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
Crew, we're going to Singapore.
He wouldn't survive a day in Singapore. Wouldn't survive a day. I remember that. Now I'm going to put some steam. Now, okay, Natal Brown is saying, Mystic, you will be back Tuesday. So ask everyone to support your candidates Monday nomination day. So, you hear that?
We will be carrying the coverage.
We are talking about all the constituencies, right? Now we will be carrying the coverage as well. Please, as what Nathaniel says, and thank you, Nathaniel, to inform me on this, right? Please support the candidate nomination on Monday. All right. So having said that, make we move on. Thank you, Nathaniel, for that. Now let us get into and eat up the business of the day. Now we are going to get into some serious history here as it relates to, you understand, how they fight hard to eliminate democratic socialism, right? And now the truth revealed by CIA, FBI, and you name it, right? To show you, right, the wickedness that are done to the People's National Party in order to slow the People's National Party not to make the progress move in terms of building the nation from in the days of Michael Manley. Now look at this now, people. Let us play this. Listen to this on Cliff Hughes here. We have other evidence that is going to shock some people, you know. Right? Listen to this, people.
Papa Nana.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes, sir.
How you do?
I'm all right.
Mr. Hughes, I have to take 2 pressure tablets a while ago.
Why?
When I hear you said, I hope I'm hearing right, that the Eventide fire was the act of the CIA?
Yes. There is archival material, yes, that says so. And that is disputed by some people, but it is part of the records, yes, that it was orchestrated by the CIA to increase the instability in the country. Mm-hmm.
Almighty God. You know why I'm grateful that I didn't die today, but I tell you, my pressure went up. So, what was the Somal inquiry in that? The PMP didn't have anything at all to do with it.
Because now that he heard from Cliff Hughes himself that the CIA was a part of the scheme that aided by the Jamaica Labour Party to destroy Jamaica. I want people to listen to this. You know? I want people to listen to this for people who support the Jamaica Labour Party. Well, tonight I'm going to come with clear proof to show you how the United States is telling Seaga, right, accusing Seaga to be a thrifty criminal, trick them. And yet, when the CIA assists them to destroy democratic socialism, Seaga never come true with this promise. You may have the document, you know. So tonight, we're going to reveal it to the people. But we could just juggle on before we go into the document. People, we are showing you, you understand how vicious the Labour Party is. The Labour Party, what you're seeing today, you understand, is only Andrew Honest now, they reflect, you understand, the true art of the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to their level of viciousness and wickedness. You know, watch this now, people. Let us go into the next clippings, honey. Understand? Thank you for doing a good job here, right? So let us get into this so that we can present. We are teaching people tonight. Tonight is beat and teach night. Right? Tonight is beat and teach night where we are going to show every Jamaican, everyone who is watching me. You understand? Follow my lead tonight because we are going to show you the evidence, the precise evidence of what transpired and how vicious the Jamaica Labour Party is in terms of, dealing with what they are dealt with. It is just crazy. And here is Andrew Holness, you understand, definitely executing that. So let us listen to this, my Jamaican people.
I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in.
I want you to listen to people tonight, a beat and teach night tonight.
CIA was using the Jamaican Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in, because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous, because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans. And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life. The purpose of all those activities of violence and armed robbery and murder coupled with the propaganda campaigns calling for the overthrow of the Manley government, naturally created a situation of terror, really, of tension, of uncertainty, of doubt, and fear.
Marley, who had never expressed a political affiliation, was suddenly thrust into the political arena when both parties sought his endorsement. Marley, however, was wary of the risk that came with being associated with a political figure during such a volatile time. He planned a peace concert, a concert that he wanted to represent peace. Marley's idea was to bring both candidates on stage and have them shake hands, showing the good intentions of both of the leaders. But false rumors that he was supporting Manley began to circulate, and posters started appearing around Kingston suggesting that Marley was going to do the concert on the front lawn of Prime Minister Manley's home. Both parties did eventually agree to have the concert at a neutral site, but it was too late. Marley's perceived favor for Manley made him a target for the conservative right, which included the U.S. and the CIA. Aware that his life was in danger, Marley hired a security detail to guard his home 24/7. However, on December the 3rd, 1976, his guards were strangely absent when 2 carloads of gunmen came to kill him. They ran through his compound, shooting everybody that they could find, and Marley was hit, along with his wife Rita, who was shot in the head, and a few of his crew members. Now, the concert that he had...
Now, take that away. Jamaica, let me tell you something. And whether anyone like it, yes or no, and this is 100% truthfulness of all our political leaders. There are 2 main persons that create serious damages for Jamaica. 2 main perpetrators, Andrew Holness and Edward Seaga. And you know why? Andrew Holness was a protege to Seaga. It is Seaga who had taught him political trickery to create mayhem. When we look and see the level of damage that is done by Edward Seaga, let me tell you something. In the 70s, well, let us go back to Singapore. When Singapore Prime Minister has to come here and adapt the economic model based on our education system at the time and how solid the country was. The Singapore Prime Minister come and adopt that. I am saying this to say, if we didn't have a Jamaica Labour Party in our midst, let us ask the question, where would we be today? Let me answer that question. We would in a better position than Singapore. Let me give you the evidence. Singapore, during the time when Singapore Prime Minister came, they hardly had any resources. Swamp land, had no resources. In the 70s, we have everything that is going for us. Bauxite, you name it. Banana, sugar, coffee, you name it. We have everything going for us. Natural water, everything going for us. Entertainment, everything. And so then in comparison to we and Singapore, then when we have everything where we could propel, you understand, to the best of the best in the Caribbean and even better than Singapore. You have seen how GLP, the Jamaica Labour Party, that's why we say, again, people, when we talk about education, if the masses of Jamaicans were educated, there wouldn't be a Jamaica Labour Party. A Jamaica Labour Party would not exist. They would not exist. Why do you believe? Ask yourself the question. Why is it that you have more than 6 members of parliament from 1954 who attacked our education system and try to cripple it? You're going to tell me that a political party who love the people and want to see the people go forward is going to rob the education ministry? You're going to have that? So then now I am asking Jamaica Labour Party, since they want to critique, right, the People's National Party mandate, right? Why not put it out and ask yourself the question, why do we have on our side more than 6 members of parliament who involved in stealing money from the Ministry of Education, including Andrew Holness? Why not come out and speak of that? Eh? Right now, before Favour go to the Ministry of Finance, wreck our education system. Pre-Favour, Rural Read, wreck our education system by stealing. And all you try to do is to protect the thief. Dalrymple, all you try to do is to protect the thief. James Robertson, all you try to do is to protect the thief. Bars, all you try to do is to protect the thief. And yet, within Jamaica Labour Party, within Andrew Holness administration, more than 13 members of parliament cited for illicit enrichment. We shouldn't be working so hard here. You understand? And begging people to vote for People's National Party. And begging people to save themselves from the dilemma to come if you don't vote for a People's National Party. We shouldn't be here, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I don't reason with some people who lack the ability to save themselves. How are you going to reason with those people? Right? That the only thing they know, they only know how to self-inflict, politically self-inflict. And no matter how you tell them, say, okay, all right, this is the left hand and this is the right hand. They say, you say, no, this is the left hand and this is the right hand. Only that you get from them. Only that you get from them. Some people still try. we don't look for all of Vegas. We don't look for all of Vegas. Don't even know in left foot for the right foot. Eh? Of Vegas don't even know him left foot for the right foot. He might talk about the Prime Minister taxi, and yet him not talk about the cash plus for the Prime Minister in and the whole into the Prime Minister in. You see him skip around. I talk about hey, to taxi, the Prime Minister one away. You know, say I want to live in idiot this. You know, Vegas, I want to live in idiot. If you're fucking brain right now, a total excretion come out and brain. Living douche. Done. And yet, the Jamaica Labour Party have put him in front. Yeah? Him only see 2 taxi, and that the Prime Minister went away because we are work taxi. All right, if the Prime Minister went away, would have run taxi. Show me one away, would have run taxi, will have $470 million out of taxi. Damn idiot. You understand? You come like crayfish. Crayfish where you have shit in your head. Right? If the Prime Minister is humble, you understand, and so-called be one of us running taxi. Show me which Jamaican taximan in the history of Jamaica that run their taxi and able to accumulate $470 million. Show me that taximan there. Show me the taximan there. The only person who will represent the taximan there is Vegas. Damn idiot. Now, let us look on the next clip here. Let us go into this, the document that I want to show Jamaican people how Seaga damaged Jamaica. Let us get into this document. Google share. Damn stupid. Have no brain whatsoever. The time they jump up on stage with his foot. You understand? He should have jumped up on stage with his head. Because he has no brains. Now here the evidence, people. So when Mystic come, Mystic showing the evidence, you know, the source. The US message to Jamaica's Seaga. Understand how them put it? Understand how the US put it? The US message to Jamaica's Edward Seaga. It's time to keep your promise. Here, people. United States is telling Edward Seaga to keep its promise because of what he had made them done, right? In terms of mashing down democratic socialism. So they are telling him to keep his promise in terms of what Seaga had promised them for their involvement to mash down democratic socialism. See the evidence, people. Here's the evidence. September 2nd, 1986. So look, you know, we can read into it, people. Archive document may contain errors. Now, 5:31 September 2nd, 1986, the U.S. message for Jamaica's Seaga. It's time to keep your promise. Introduction. Jamaican Prime Minister Edward Seaga visit Washington, D.C. this week. His arrival should trigger in the Reagan administration a reprisal of Jamaica's strategic role in U.S. Caribbean policy. The island's seeming potential and its special relationship with the Reagan administration prompted Ronald Reagan in 1982 to state Jamaica is making freedom work. There then was solid reason to be optimistic about Jamaica's future. There is less today, and the culprit is Seaga. When you hear that paper, and me say it, you know. See there, and me, nor melting pot, nor pig say it. See that? There then was solid reason to be optimistic about Jamaica's future. There is less today. That's what they are saying, you know. Because after Seaga, after them after Seaga proving all of the political rhetoric and lie that them spew, and then when them look now and Seaga won, right? Then realize that Seaga is not delivering on certain promises. Hear what they are saying now. There is less today, and the culprit is Seaga. He has not kept his promise to mobilize and unleash free market forces to resuscitate his nation economy, people. Because guess what? At the time, what sort of economic model we were practicing, we were executing? We were executing, right? What we call mixed economic model, where we have private sectors, right, and the government sitting at the table together, making solid decision-making process. Mixed economy model was working for Jamaica in a very well and stable way under democratic socialism. It is the very same model that the Singapore Prime Minister had come to Jamaica and had taken away. So Seaga promised them that, look, if you help me to win this election as it relates to his propaganda, he will crush the mixed economic model and democratic socialism. You understand? However, he was tardy in doing it. And so then they were saying, no, there is less today. And the culprit is Seaga. He has not kept his promise to mobilize and unleash free market forces to resuscitate his nation's economy. When you listen, people, when you look on the sellout. Seaga Jamaica Labour Party swept to electoral victory on October 30, 1980, with a mandate for change as great as that won by Reagan less than a week later. And becoming Jamaica's new Prime Minister, Seaga promised an ambitious program to reverse 8 years of socialism. I'm not telling no people, I'm not telling no lie. I'm not telling any lie. See, I'm read it over. Seaga promised an ambitious program to reverse 8 years of socialism. And why? Because of the backside levy that Michael Manley increased. And so then now Seaga promised, said, okay, all of that was going to go back right into the hands of the crony capitalists and the neo-colonialists. Right? Seaga promised them that. And that is one of the reasons why they work with Seaga and mash down Michael Manley. See, I know document, you know, and I tell. Right? Now, here it is. Seaga promised an ambitious program to reverse 8 years of socialism that virtually had destroyed the island's economy. To do so, he promised to pursue a free market strategy. Want to hear that, people? Want to hear that? To show its strong pro-Western stance on foreign policy. But what happened? Seaga broke relationships with Cuba and downgraded ties with other Soviet bloc nations. Today, Jamaica's great promise remains unfulfilled. To be sure, declines in world prices for bauxite and alumina. You know, you hear me, people? Principal Jamaican commodities have slowed the government development programs, leading to heavy borrowing abroad and a 3.2 billion foreign debt that Seaga put in. If Seaga went just work with Michael Manley, knowing very well that Michael Manley meant well for the people. But just like Andrew Holness fighting for power and they know not the hour. But Marley's think about them, you know. Oh, what a rat race. This is a rat race. Some a gargan, some a guinea gag, some a cannibal. This is a rat race. Now, speech by President Ronald Reagan to the Organization of African States Status, Washington, D.C., February 24, 1982. Yet the main cause of today's economic woes is that Seaga's government has failed to create a fertile investment climate for foreign and local business, just like how Andrew Holness is a failure. Andrew Holness is a failure. They are only destructive to the Jamaican politics. The sad truth is that state control of Jamaica's economy has actually increased in some sectors since the JLP assumed power. Can you imagine? Jamaica is too important to US and Caribbean regional security to allow its potential to remain. You know, hear that, people? Largely untapped unless Seaga can revitalize his nation's economy before the island next election, which could be called at any time, but must be held by the end of 1988. Former Prime Minister Michael Manley and his Socialist People National Party could return to power. You know, hear them concerned? So this now answer to why, after the damage what Seaga had done and people learn over the process of time, over the evolution of time, this was the fundamental reason as to why PJ Patterson had got 15 years and put Jamaica Labour Party right in the political desert. It's because of people who did not having the knowledge or the awareness of this situation. Because Jamaica Labour Party now to come out of its wilderness. And so then what you have done to yourself is to invoke evil unto the Jamaican people by putting back Jamaica Labour Party in power. And now you see the real Jamaica Labour Party rolling out. This would be a blow to the validity of the free enterprise concept for the developing world, to the US efforts to stem Soviet and Cuban influence in the Caribbean, as Seaga meets with top US officials this week. They must make it clear that continuation of nearly $1 billion in US aid given to Jamaica since 1980, right, is contingent upon the rapid structural reforms that will ignite the power of free market forces for the country 2.3 trillion inhabitants. So to see the sort of spell we are under as it relates to democratic, as it relates to crony capitalism and neocolonialism, the state must divest itself of all assets not essential to its functioning and phase out such pervasive monopoly, right, monopoly powers as virtual control of the tourism and backside industry. Because guess what now? Seaga now hand it over now to them. They need to take control of our backside. And that is one of the reasons why today our backside we can convert from alumina into aluminum. Right? When you look, you see IMF holding pressure on us, the World Bank holding pressure on us, and within the IMF, you have these, you have the Korean, right, who's a part of the IMF, and the Japan, who is a part of IMF, you understand, ensuring that they have total control. And so then in the People's National Party mandate, that's why you need to understand why Philip Powell is now moving slowly, you understand, to leave fossil fuel, right, to go renewable energy, so that we can lose, right, the net control that, you know, crony capitalism have over us, stinking us and squeezing us, and making sure that we sustain high energy costs so that we cannot manufacture. And in one case, cannot manufacture to convert alumina into aluminum. You know, tell me if that makes sense. The obstacles of foreign and domestic investment must be removed to stimulate growth and reduce Jamaica's crushing debt burden. Jamaica and Edward Seaga still offer open promise for the model they can become in the developing world. And while some of this promise has tarnished in the past 6 years, the US should remain ready to help Jamaica, but only if Seaga pursues those policies which allow Jamaica to help itself, and by so doing, giving crony capitalists, right, all the controls of our resources for them to continue to suppress and oppress our people, like how you see, like the Korean, the Japan, who have interest into the IMF, right? They offer loans, and so then they also have interest into our energy sector. You understand, as it relates to want to continue us on fossil fuel. So when Darrell Falls and Andrew Holness are talking, don't listen to them. Their wish is for us to continue fossil fuel and don't give us no here to escape the debt burden as it relates to moving away from fossil fuel to renewable energy. The day we are able to move from fossil fuel to renewable energy, Jamaica will now get rid of the oppressors and the suppressors. Take that document away. Let me go to the panel. Now, ladies Binks, let me step with you. What say you on the information that you have read?
Well, Uncle Byron, all I can say is this. This JLP government is still living back in the 50s.
Exactly.
And they want us to still live in the 50s. Look how many modern inventions and modern ways of doing things have come about, and yet they still want to keep us in the old way of doing things. And they are still playing by the colonial playbook until this day, keep us in slavery. Slavery not as in the African slave trade that our ancestors went through, but slavery to other nations, slavery to the IMF, slavery to every other entity outside of Jamaica. Nothing new to us right now. Look at our agriculture. We're importing onions.
Crazy.
We have even imported ice. We have been importing the most ridiculous things that could have been produced here. Tomatoes, cabbage, all these things are being imported into the country. Why? To keep us dependent on another country. And it's time that Jamaicans open their eyes and look and see that we are defending the truth and we are defending their choice of the future. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Now, Martin Pat, take it away.
Yes, sir, Byron. No, it's sad. We have to just call a spade and show all of the people in Jamaica what was taking place in the late 70s, early 80s, as it relates to Edward Seaga fighting for power, but using Jamaica backside as a bargaining deal with the Reagan administration. You understand? No, after Sir Manley, fight to get an increase for our backside, Yeah? Because we never get nothing for the backside. And Sir Manley go there and, impose himself on the guy them who don't want backside for little and nothing. You understand? Make sure no say Jamaica have a 51% stake in the backside. Because you have 6 partners, from within the US, and some other places. Where at them want control backside, to them not have backside there Jamaica, but them want own it. So man make sure no say him retain 51% and him demand an increase. Yeah. We will move from 40 million a year to 200 million. No, America did not like that.
Exactly.
So what America did? Use this guy, yeah, Edward Seaga, to manipulate the landscape of Jamaica by issuing him all that he need to fight Michael Manley and democratic socialism. To the extent where them all, assemble them own paramilitary, them own illegal troop on the ground, and then carry out a range of activity. Evening Tide Fire was one. Gunshot, lick off a Manley and Bob Marley on stage. Them used to go around as it does up by evening time and fire shot wildly just to scare people. And so that, you know, destabilize Michael Manley and democratic socialism movement. And Edward Seaga was offered the luxury to become the prime minister, a guy who never qualified to even enter in our politics. So the Jamaica Labour Party is a sellout party. Yeah, and right now, them give back the backside. We know that. Yeah, we not make nothing a fight. I mean, you say if Michael Manley did have just 2 more terms, but Sir Byron had talked about, you know, we would have a one plant and I turn the backside into aluminum. You understand? So we know where Jamaica get the setback from. The Jamaica society get the setback from Edward Seaga using the influence of Ronald Reagan and the regime, the CIA, them, to defeat socialism and to oust Michael Manley from the prime minister seat. And when them get it to him though, him couldn't deliver upon him promise. So here is the manuscript from Reagan, who was upset with him, telling Edward Seaga that, you know, the time come and him not deliver upon him promise. How can you have a man where I run the prime minister at the time as an opposition, but he must strike a deal with outside counterpart to give away wealth just because they want power? So a long time we know them a buy vote. Long time we know that. Because them get a lot of money, you know. And what them do with the money? Them throw it at the little garbage, them, the paramilitary soldier, where them have the foot soldier. And man now start, you know, dress up like them as some Dan. You know, them arrows and them clocks. Because them supply them with them thing there. And turn them in a bad man. Give them gun. We know one of them still in the ghetto some box up. It look like he never perform him duty well. He used to have a bone and a rifle on him back. Them know evening time fire go. Them know the people them we have the bakery out of Coronation Market. All them got the China people. I whole part thing them do, you know. You understand? But this is why Jamaica has not excelled to the extent where Singapore must be laughing at us. I say, my God, it can't be that island that we went and look at what they were doing and brought back their mother to our country. And look at us now and where they are. Singapore must be laughing at us. And not just Singapore, the entire Caribbean of Jamaica is a laughing stock. Because remember, I know, Jamaica have the largest population in the Caribbean as it relates to English population, not Spanish population. Jamaica has the largest English-speaking population in the Caribbean. And the little small, tiny island, them like Barbados and them place, I laugh after we. Because what Barbados and those other islands have over Jamaica is more transparent government.
Exactly.
Government who does not pursue political leadership through corruption. Them go through the process and, you know, make themselves available and through whatever democratic process them have, them get elected. Labor rights use gun and ammunition to get elected at all time. And now we see them use corruption. We see a couple shipment of gun coming and ammunition come at them warehouse, down at them headquarters. We don't hear nothing more about them, you know. Me know say them they not destroy. Me know say them they still in a circulation. And I believe I have an idea who them going to come to. So we know where them are going with. So when we look on the transformation of Jamaica, where Jamaica is today, it has to be wholly and solely laid to the foot of the Jamaica Labour Party. So I am seeing right now where the leader of the party and the current prime minister is not enthusiastic about running a country. He's enthusiastic about getting a certain amount of seats so he can have some representative in the House of Parliament for black whatever I will come them way from the People's National Party. Because Andrew Wallace no him cannot win. So even when you see them do, them still a trick the people and a lie to the people. Because there is no way Andrew Wallace can win this upcoming election. As we pointed out earlier on, you can't win when you have your civil servant them at loggerhead with you as a government, as it relates to them not being paid. More so the police them. Nearly 3 years now, them more them, the doctors them, the nurses, the teachers, and the wider society is against this government. Because we know they have never practiced true governance. You understand? We know them come with anti-panky thing at all time and wiggle them way into office. Andrew did it against Portia Simpson in 2016. Them use all type of corruption. Traffic guru was, you know, them famous line. Traffic guru never do nothing wrong. The People's National Party never did anything wrong as it relates to sourcing party fund from an illegal source, like shower posse. Traffic guru are from Holland, in Europe. It's a reputable company. You understand? There's only a little fine margin of error was created there. I don't know where traffic guru did have lose them license of operating. No, I don't know chargeable offense on the People's National Party. But them take it and trick the people with the traffic guru scandal and everybody have it a run round. You understand? Right now, we want to know who are them doing that. Because for the money I come from some unscrupulous people. People who are going to want reward like we see Reagan did want from Seaga. That's why the country wash out to overseas counterpart. Because they must some deal. Yeah, when a suit Jamaica going forward. Can you imagine, you know, Ronald Reagan give the man gun and ammunition to kill people, and mash up people, you know, in exchange for what? The backside. Look how lucrative of a backside is to us. And a guy would have want to give a backside just to gain power. So the same thing we see going on now. We see Prime Beach them a give it. We see land a give it to US developer. But land where People's National Party under the leadership of PJ Party is not quiet, you know, so it belongs to Jamaican taxpayers. Yeah, we see where, you know, it want $1 billion US to do the project. We show now the diaspora sending more than $1 billion US every year. And the land is there already. So I almost see it would be justifiable if this guy had approached the diaspora and say, well, look, we want some investment, you know, and we are turning to you now as Jamaican to invest in this going forward, this project here, don't actually. But no, them look elsewhere. So they are not for the native of Jamaica. No. If you come from foreign, them do business with you. If you are local, them shut you out. So we can't have them guys anymore. We want participation from our own people in the development and the transformation of Jamaica. We don't want no more foreigner come on, not in our place. Singapore never do it. That's why Singapore stand up and stand strong in 2025. That's why you can see them now in the top 10 as it relates to the corruption index. Yeah, as country when corrupt. That's why you can see them now rise above all UK and United States in a GDP. You understand? Because what? Them practice a good method of to build them country, how to enrich the society, and how to cut corruption. Them JP, all them do is wash out the country elsewhere. When it not Ghana, India, Ghana, China, then Mexico and Colombia and all, Spain and all them places. I don't know how far else them want to wash it go. But we have to put an halt to that. Because if we let them continue with this type of bad governance, nothing ever left to the native in the country, you know.
All right.
Nothing to leave. You go see Jamaica now, I walk man all the sea. To go overseas. Remember we see some guy in something out there risk them life, you know, just to left Jamaica, you know. A Coast Guard have to bring them back. Coast Guard. All they had was a phone and few little biscuit and some water. They never had nothing much. They might risk them life just to leave Jamaica. So it's a crisis, and we have to make sure that we protect what is left of Jamaica and try to build back on it. Labour government, all them do is sell Jamaica to foreigner. The People's National Party, you read name? People's National Party. It never said people, foreigners party. It belongs to the people of Jamaica. That's why it's national. That's why I call for naturalization. Yeah? In everything. You make the people of Jamaica participate. If a hotel, we can participate. We can buy shares. There's so much of us in the diaspora plus nearly 3 million back home. We will buy the shares going forward.
All right.
I need to put up my little much.
All right, Martin, take a minute to wrap up and let me just move on to
Yes, sir, B. So and that we are called now. Yeah, nationalization of the country going forward. Bring the Jamaican to the table, the bargaining table. Let us participate going forward. And I know the People's National Party have that agenda in their manifesto. And I yield back the floor.
All right, Sister Pinks, please squeeze in right away, right? Because we have another 3 more folder to cover.
When we think of 49% of our teachers that graduate from our institutions and how they have to migrate to make their lives better. When we think of all the other civil servants in this country who are suffering, even the police, first time in the history of Jamaica, the police took the government to court over their own pay, their overtime pay. And until this day, they're not being paid. Yet they're asked to go out there every day and do service to this country. And I would like to remind Jamaicans that Seaga was never a born Jamaican. Seaga was a Lebanese American born in Boston. So legally, he should have not been on our ballots as any candidate, much less a prime minister of this country. And you see the same trickery, 3-card game, same tricks he played. He got his way, got what he wanted from Reagan, therefore he did not keep his promise. And it's the same trick that Andrew is doing. Look at rooms. We saw what happened to rooms deal. They gave away our country, our beach, free to the Mexicans. And because we objected to the sale, the deal did not go through. Jamaicans, just be aware of who you're voting for on September the 3rd. I yield the floor.
All right. Thank you for that, Spinks. Now, let me listen to this. Seaga protege. Listen to Seaga protege. Right? And, you know, it is just that, you know, this person just believe that Jamaica is so naive. Just listen to it.
Take any risk with the economy. The PNP has never run the economy of this country well. And if they ever get a chance on this economy, they will destroy it as they have done every time they have run this country. Listen to me very carefully. Jamaica needs to stay on this path for the longest time, so that all of you here, you might not be satisfied with the job that you have. But how development starts, it starts with you getting an income, and you stay with that income, and you build with that income, and you save with that income, and you improve yourself till you get a better job, and the economy does better, and you do better. That is how development happens. We are just getting there now. And if it is one thing that I must do, is to make sure that nothing derails the economy. You cannot take any risk with the economy. The PNP has never run the economy of this country well. And if they ever...
You know, it's a disgrace, you know, when you listen to him. Right? When you listen to this man and show you the level of wickedness. Right? This is what you call unspeakable evil. And when I say that Andrew Holness is 100% pure evil, people need to believe in terms of what I'm saying. The man is just 100% pure evil. And all the programs that PNP created is what the man is using. And hear what he's saying, you know, that the pay that you have, you must stay with your pay, right? Now, the pay that he was getting, why didn't he stay with it? What he had done? He went into cash plus, all in 200 and 300% raise, and this man is telling people, I am wondering if he's listening to himself, right? I am wondering if he's listening to himself. Now, let us check out this, right? Let us check out this clip, and I am going to, when we listen to this man, right? Now I have an emergency thing going off in terms of my alarm system. Just give me a minute. Melting Pot.
Yes, sir, B.
Yeah. Talk until me just resolve the situation here. A minute. Hold on.
Well, you know, we know where I'm going, you know. Andrew a madman, you know. But Andrew a madman will be your face. No matter how you shove him back and push him one side, and still come up in your face. The man lie out of this world. You understand? Because there is no way we can look to Jamaica political history and see where the Jamaica Labour Party has done anything to develop or grow Jamaica. All development and growth have come under the People's National Party. Yet, Michael Manley, Norman Washington Manley, P.J. Patterson, and Portia Lucretia Miller as Prime Minister have done wonders for Jamaica and Jamaicans. All these new development that you see the Labour Party carrying out, they are merely only continuing the process of what the People's National Party had left on the table. In terms of them initiating anything, we haven't seen anything. The only thing we see them initiating in our society is mash up the economy and give away land and we beach them and over thief 1,000 acre land. We see where two of them Thief 1.2 acre land. Charles take 1.5. JC Hutchinson take 1.4. And we are talking about 1,000 acre land. And then go around and bulldozer and shove off people off a land and call them squatters. You can't ban in our country and become that and known as a squatters, you know. Me not see how that become feasible. Because you're born in our country where God create the land for you live on. How the hell can you be called squatters? But this is what the Jamaica Labour Party has done. There is no period in a Jamaica time where the People's National Party leader or member of parliament in any constituency and bulldozer down people and call them squatters. Remember, Michael Manley tell the farmers to come up on the hillside and come down on the level, come farm the land. And them deal with land reform. A PMP give the most land title in Jamaica. Because PMP don't have the land. I save up to get to no foreigners. People's National Party, most of the land them belong to the Jamaicans. So, no way can a Labour government make any claims about growing economy and improving Jamaicans' life. That not happening under freedom leadership. What we see under freedom leadership is a high level of crime and corruption. Mismanagement of the local economy. They mash it up in our way right now. The last time, you know, under Bruce Bolin and Andrew Holness administration, when Mama P get the place upon our knee, Shabba Crash and Dr. Peter Phillips, and beg and beseech for the International Monetary Fund, IMF, you know, accept me back as one of their clients and offer something going forward as it relates to some money to start grow back the economy.
Exactly.
So I understand where is Andrew Holness going with this madness. Andrew Holness supposed to feel like everybody had done. The most powerful and influential Jamaicans are living overseas. And we are engaged and in tune to what is happening on the ground daily in Jamaica. And we can make assumption as to when a man is telling lies and when a man is being, you know, truthful to society. And we know Andrew never speak nothing truth yet. From the past.
All right, it seems like melting pot up to there frozen. So what melting pot is saying is definitely true, right? When you look and see how Andrew Holness, right, it's telling us never to give back the People's National Party a chance on the economy. This is just crazy to know what, as it relates to what Bruce Golding had done with the economy and how Pusha Simpson, Peter Phillips, right, as to bring back the economy. And here it is that Andrew Holness now, you know, definitely damage the economy. And what it seems to me that he's also trying to hold on because he doesn't want a lot of information to come out as it relates to when the PNP get in. Because of course, Mark Golding told him that he's going to do an audit on majority of the ministry. So that is going to be a problem to him. You understand? Where people know the solid truth. This man, trust me, I believe that Andrew Holness has to face the judiciary. But let us look in terms of how he talk about People's National Party and look and look on the history in terms of what Michael Manley had done. Right? Let me see Michael Manley warning us about them. Long before Michael Manley is warning us about them. Listen.
Corruption was everywhere. The country was bankrupt spiritually, bankrupt morally. And in the years, those who had been wealthy had grown more wealthy. Those who had been privileged had grown more privileged. Those who were poor had grown poorer. and those who had no rights had sunk deeper into despair. And the people of Jamaica looked at that and they said, no more, no way. And those are the people that now want to come back. No way. No way.
All right. Now, let us show the true reflection as it relates to Andrew Honest, and where his own GLP member of parliament is telling you who Andrew Honest is. Now, let us look at this. Look at this.
And busloads of people who are not delegates of this party. Mr. Honest joined them up there and walked through the crowd, overran the whole place, went down to the area for registration, overran that area. The electoral supervisors had to leave and abandon their station, and there was disruption for half an hour until we had to restore it and allow some more people to vote. Okay? What he has done is irresponsible and is outrageous and is unworthy of him as leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. 7 busloads of people who are not delegates of this party. Mr. Honest joined them up there and walked through the crowd, overran the whole place.
So then, that is a warning. When it's own telling you that Andrew Honest is a political tyrant, this one has nothing about him based on good morals. Right? This man is 100% pure evil. Now, when we see something like that, let me just bring in Spring Skew, right, to describe that. And we have Melting Pot closing the night for us. Spring Skew.
Yes, Uncle Byron. Thank you again. When we look at Andrew's clip that you played, Andrew is telling us to keep the country on the path of corruption.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. Keep it on the same path. The path of corruption. He's asking us, just like how he's asking the IC to accept his corruption.
Exactly.
That's exactly what he's doing. So we must accept the bad and do away with morals and honesty and transparency and integrity. This man is a man that came out and said the economic of Jamaica can yam because it's so good and nutritious, but not even the moral. Right now, economically, Jamaica is like some dry bones. Not even the moral is in there to give us any substance. So I don't know where this man coming from with this advice. Because when you look at people who are collecting their pay on a regular basis because they're employed to a company or into the civil service, compared to us who are entrepreneurs, right? If we are not skilled in what we are doing, we'll be out on our head top, embarrassed financially. Because right now in Jamaica, from December, many investors, many people who would want to spend money in the construction industry are waiting on the election. Everybody, every date I have after election. Every date I see after election. Everybody in the business have the same complaint. Because everybody is afraid of spending their money. And why is this? And this is how stupid they are. They come out along their campaign trail. And what they do, they promote violence. And when you promote violence, the people who have money are afraid to invest and spend money in Jamaica. Because guess what happened? They're going to try to hold on to what they have just in case they have to fly out. So when you as a leader is encouraging our fellow Jamaicans to be violent against other Jamaicans, what you have done is make the economic of this country very stagnant. What we're going through from last year, December, is a stagnant economic Jamaica. The Jamaicans, let me tell you this let me tell you this. During the leadership race, you just saw that clip. During the leadership race, he took 7 busloads of people who were delegates to try to vote him as leader of the party. That's what he tried to do that day. The other thing that came out of that story is that 2 persons who were working with Andrew Holness swap out money with t-shirts on that day to allow the persons who were voting to think that Andrew was actually giving them money to vote for him. They swapped out Ollie Shaw's t-shirts that had money in it with Andrew Holness t-shirts with the same money. So therefore, Andrew Holness won that leadership race with Ollie Shaw's money and his t-shirts. You see how this scamming? They can't even have an honest leadership race amongst their own party. So why should we trust them? If they themselves cannot trust each other, why should we trust them? And I yield the floor to my brother.
Yeah, and we know say a man get pay according to him work. And it's pay dirty work and you go on with. So we know say man get a bad pay. And the punishment that is there for Andrew Owen is not go nice. But you know, I just want to take the liberty to, highlight one of our, student of the class who earlier on put out a post, unique rate. He's not satisfied, with the outcome in the case with the policeman and the nurse. That policeman that we saw abusing the nurse in a street brawl, we hear him walk free. So thanks for just submitting that little message there, unique rate. Yeah, because that just shows that, the country are run bad. Because when we see it never even need no trial. You could just charge the policeman right there and then, because video not lie. So I know how the policeman get the upper hand of this case over the nurse. When we see him a batter bruise the nurse, brawling in the street, when I him wrong. So we can understand. But that's how the society are run. And when you have a Labour Party government in office, we get these type of, dirt dish out to society. We not get nothing transparent. Yeah? Now we can move on to this garbage, Because we know, say Andrew Holness have to get a beat. Andrew Holness style when imposed on Jamaican electorate is a style where get people intimidated. Him intimidate Hardly Shaw up at the national arena. We saw the clipping. We saw them come in with this entourage of people. Some of them look like their Go club. You understand? And them bombard the place and even the people who are work have to take with themselves. And it took nearly an hour before order was restored. So we know him thief, the party leadership from Hardly Shaw. Yeah? And he try to do that thing there everywhere him go. But we cannot allow this wolf to continue to off and puff in our society. We have to make sure we get rid of this wolf. Andrew Holness is a wolf. And a wolf will come and destroy your village. So be careful of the wolf. So I'm saying to all electorate, nobody think to even have no consideration of putting no X beside no bell. A be knives come from a bell, and the knives is empty promise. You have to be wise and conscious. Use your head, put the X beside the head. And remember, go and support the member of parliament candidate them, you know. Give them support as it relates to nomination day. Make them feel so well then, you know, everything is there for them, the support me I talk about from the people. Because, you know, a man feel confident when him looking up and seeing fans then. If you take the player field and you know, see no fans to cheer for you, know. Even when you are the best, you have a underperforming, you know, your personality. We want to see them personality shine, and we want to see them, you know, go through and do them thing, yeah, for nomination day with the full support of who them are going to represent. So just go out and lend them that support, because everybody needs support, especially for those who are entering into politics for the first time. They need that support. Because no say, we now give to them on the third, you know. Yeah, because we have to get rid of this kleptocratic government. And Jamaican people must, once in them lifetime, can see justice done where it comes to high official, like politicians who misappropriate the money and go out with some little anti-panky thing. We want to see them in a bangle now, man. A time now. So I back the floor, my brother.
All right. Well, of course, that is Melting Pot. And that is our end there. We are, of course, looking forward for us on Tuesday, right? What, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's correct on it? So Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right, we are in the space. We want to say big thanks to the panel. Big thanks to Pinks, right? Bless up yourself. Big thanks to Melting Pot, right? The man with the sledge. Bless up yourself, my boss. Now, and to the chat, to all the persons who are listening to us, thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate. Let me just give Wifey the honors to close us out.
Okay, guys, thank you again for tuning in. And remember, on Monday is nomination day, so make sure you go out and support your candidates. Make sure you give them the full support. And those who have not yet collected their voter ID cards, please, please, please make sure you do so. And on election day, each one help one. So make sure everybody comes out, every vote counts. Don't take anything for granted. The sick, the lame, the lazy, and the indifferent. Everybody must make sure they go out. If you know somebody who's going to need help in getting out there to vote and they want to cast their vote, please make sure you give an helping hand and help that person out, because we do not want to leave anyone out, because we are voting for our lives and the future of our generations to come. Anyway, guys, you have a blessed and wonderful weekend. And until Monday, I will be trying to cover some of the nomination coverages that will be broadcasted. And then Tuesday, we'll be back with the regular program. So stay safe, walk good, safe travel on the gravel. Thanks to everyone. Bye.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.